What's up, guys? I'm Chanel, and I'm here to review Ladies Who List. Now, please bear with me. This is only my second live stream. I'm just trying to get used to everything. I just checked the last video I did. I just did a review on Ready to Love DMV. Um, and the video quality was a little rough. Like for me, I look good, I look cute over here. But when I went to check it out on the internet on YouTube, it looked a little rough. So I'm seeing that my computer camera is not really the thing. So I'm looking up cameras to see what I could actually use. If you know any, please let me know. Um, but yeah, just getting into this thing, the swing of this thing. So anyway, let's talk about episode 4 of Ladies Who List. Yes, I know I haven't reviewed any of the other episodes, but I'm here now. So let's do it. So we start the episode off with back in Robin and Kiana's conversation, right? And so the ladies get straight into talking about the money, which is what we've been waiting for episodes to find out what Robin's side of the conversation and the money, right? So Kiana tells her like he wanted 500 per contract. I had 13. What was it? 26, and that's 13,000, right? And Robin swears down she only asked for 500 flat for all the contracts. So that's a huge misunderstanding to have, and I'm struggling to believe Robin right now. I am. I'm struggling to believe her. I don't think she's telling the truth. And but I do agree with her that if Kiana was shocked by that or had any more questions, she should have called her and asked her. And I'm thinking also, if this conversation happened by text or email, isn't there some kind of proof or track record somewhere to pick up whoever is speaking the truth on this matter? So I don't understand. Like, if she didn't call her and ask her about it, how did they have this conversation? And if this is why would you have a conversation like this via email or text? I find that really strange. But sure. But yeah, so Robin's saying she's confused. She didn't understand why she was so mad over $500. Like, she clearly got it. And Kiana's like, you know what? I don't think that's the way that this conversation went down. But if you're saying that's what it is, then that's what it is. And I'll just leave it at that. But I can tell by the way this conversation went down, Robin thinks they're good because she wants it to all be good. Kiana is not all the way good with her. She is cordial. But I can tell that she also felt played. And I would have too. It was kind of like she said something about how it's like she's trying to make me look stupid. And it gave me the whole thing of Robin was trying not to make herself look bad. And so she just tried to play it like that. So I find it very interesting. Maybe we'll see down the line if there is any proof or what have you, or maybe they'll just let it go. I don't know. But if I was Kiana, especially when it comes down to money like that, and you only had a certain amount of days to get it together, I would have picked up the phone to call her. So then we got Tiana back talking. We go back to her talking to Michael Hibachi, I believe his name is, the designer. And she thinks that the house is worth 1.5, I believe she said. But he spent 1.2 and put 300,000 into it. Now, if he's a designer, he should know better than that. That was terrible. You should know the market value is, how much you're spending. Like, he had a feeling that he did too much. And I'm also not sure, sorry. I'm also not sure when he actually purchased the home. So I can't remember if he said it was like a year or so ago. Like, it's too soon for you to get the value that you want from the home. I know the market is booming and what have you, but it's too soon. You need to give it some more time to actually get the value from the home that you want. And then when it's going to be worth 2.5, he's going to want 3. Trust me. This is just how these people are. But I thought that, I'm looking at my notes, by the way, that it was really, I like the way she handled him, you know, instead of fighting with him about price and bringing it down and trying to get the listing right now. It was smart of her to just be like, okay, let's just table it for now, and then we can come back, but just keep in contact with me and whatnot. I thought that she did a really great job, and she should continue to keep in contact with him, because someone would jump in and try and take the listing from her. But I think that yeah, I think the conversation went very, very well, and it'd be great for, future business for her. I think she's very professional. I like her. And then we went to Kira, Kiana, and Crystal, and they meet for a lunch. Now, this lunch came off to me as like a support group for people who have been displeased or aggrieved by Robin. But she claims that she wanted to talk to the ladies to see if they had been able to solve their issues with her, as I feel like I look wonky, right? Anyway, as Kiana had been able to do so. Um, so yeah, so I said it was a luxury Robins Anonymous. Mm. Crystal is. So Crystal claims she's still processing what had happened and the way things went down between Kira and Robin. So it seems to me that from Crystal's point of view, Kira was wrong. And I'm really struggling to understand that. And this is the reason why they feel like you're a bad friend to Robin, Crystal. Um, Crystal, Kira acted like a child. Like it was really like there's something about her attitude that annoys me. And she also came off very unseasoned in the as a realtor. But I guess as the episode goes along, we see that, because the way she handled B Simone was just like, But this guy coming up, Alex, I think she did a great job with him. But she just gives me a little immature, and she swore down that the way she spoke with Robin was acceptable. But anyway, let me keep reading. Crystal, oh yes, Akira says that I think she handled the situation. She thinks she handled the situation maturely. Crystal says she hasn't spoken to Robin at all, which I find interesting, as we find out later on in the episode. And Kiana brings up the contract and the conversation that they had about the miscommunication. And Kiana agrees that, yeah, Kira, oh my God, these names, Kiana, Tiana, Kira, Jesus. All right. Kira agrees that it sounds like a big miscommunication to have. So something about it sounds off. Crystal says that she's not jealous that that Kiana and Robin have reconciled, but she thinks it's bogus. And I 100% agree. I think it's bogus, and they will continue to have issues. And then Crystal goes on to say she doesn't understand why the word triggered was an issue for Robin. Like she don't feel like she said anything wrong. And I have to think about myself. If somebody was in my face screaming, "You triggered," I might have reacted worse than Robin. I may have done worse than Robin. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not. I want to act like you should put your hands on anybody. I may have reacted worse. I'm not gonna lie. Just like when someone says to you, "Calm down." Whew. When somebody else sets you off, and then someone tells you to calm down, oh my God, it's like you might as well let go of the lion inside of me. Just set segment free roaming. Don't tell me to calm down. It's very triggering. But she and her therapist can't seem to get to an understanding of how that was an issue. But okay. And Kiana tells them that she met with Tiffany and that she was also triggered by the situation. And if Tiffany said if that was her friend, she would have removed her from the situation. And but what's her name? Crystal seems to think that hindsight's 2020, and you don't know her. How do you know she, all in her getting defended by that? But I think that's just because she's jealous of Tiffany's business. You know, and I thought Kira tried to handle the situation very carefully in the sense of saying, well, you know, try to defend Tiffany and her point of view that Crystal just felt like she should have mind her own business. But I don't think so. She was standing there watching it. If I was in that situation, I would have said something too, like, what are you doing? That's your friend. Like, you need to, like, chill. Like, what you're doing is not working. Maybe take a look at yourself. I think Crystal and Robin have that same issue of not being able to look at themselves. It's always you, and not, wait a second, what was a part that I played in this? That's why they're having issues at the core of their friendship. All right, what happened next? Crystal feels like she did what she. Okay, Robin goes to see Carlos. Whew. Him about a single. She tells us that Carlos and her have done millions of dollars in business together, and that they had a disagreement, and he took the listing from her and gave it to someone else. I was like, what kind of disagreement were you having with your client? So anyway, she's trying to get the listing back. She goes to his apartment. He knows she's coming. He ain't there. So he wasn't even kind enough to like call her or text her, let her know he wasn't going to be there. They need to reschedule. He was just like, whatever. So she was like, he's an asshole who does things like this all the time. Very rude. Very rude. Their relationship is so unprofessional. So unprofessional. Oh my God. Like so the assistant's like, well, he has business. He has to go. I thought that was his wife at first. I had to go back and see it was his assistant. Business is more important. The way she talked to her was very annoying and too familiar. But their relationships all around seem to be a little too familiar. And that's why she lost that listing. She's too familiar. I don't care how friendly you are and how much money you've made together. It's his property at the end of the day. So the way you speak to the person is still like a valid thing. It was way too, I was so uncomfortable. What happened here now? She calls him and says, what the F, CeeLo? Whew. And then she says, what is it? Yeah, bitch has my marketing. Now, I will agree with her. The girl who took the listing and used her marketing, I'm trying to figure out, is that like, can she call that girl and get a percentage for that? Like, that is, how do you take somebody else's marketing and then use it for yourself? I don't know. I feel like that is unethical. But yeah, bitch has my marketing. Like, man, that is unprofessional. Don't speak to this man that way. I don't care how you know him. It's not it. And then she wants him to cancel the contract with the other girl, and he was like, well, I have 6 months, we'll see how it goes, and maybe I'll give it back to you. But she's like, no, you can just cancel it. And I'm like, that is just, it's at this point, it's just like tit for tat. The girl has your marketing, you want her to just cancel. It's so bad. It's so bad. I don't, oh man. And he told her that she needs to work on her temper. Clearly he has issues too, but at the end of the day, it's his listing. He can say what he wants. Sorry, let me turn this off. It's his listing. He can say what he wants. And she really does. If you're working with people, no matter how much business you do, your attitude might need to be adjusted, right? Because in the real estate game, you still have to work with other people. So I can see that she don't just have issues with women. She has issues with men too. But bringing that up to this point, I find it very interesting that she knows these women through their partners. But we'll come back to that. Yeah, so I was just like, I get the energy from her, like, it's fine, like, we're friends, so like it's cool to talk like that, men talk like that, but it just came off, this is why you don't have the listing, ma'am. This is why you lost out on that. But anyway, moving forward, Tiffany and Tiana, they go and they work out. Tiana talks about how important it is to stay in shape. And it is like, spend time on your body and whatnot, and your own personal health while you have all these things going on. And it has to be very difficult as she's a mother, being in real estate. Like, real estate never sleeps. So being able to find time to get a workout in has to be hard to manage, because I still struggle with that. Sometimes I find myself getting it in at 11 o'clock at night. So yeah, like, I thought it was really good, and I'm impressed with how in shape that they are. I'm trying to get it too. I'm trying to make sure I look good too. So they sit down, and Tiffany's talking about her grand reopening of her law firm, and her meeting with, and that she is not inviting Miss Crystal to the grand opening because she wants to have good energy and she wants to feel safe. And I don't like that she used the word safe, but I understand if she wants to have good energy around her at her grand opening of her business, instead of dealing with a woman who's tried to take business from her, and then also the situation with Robin rubbing her the wrong way. And I don't know, part of me wanted to have an issue with her not inviting Crystal. I don't know why I wanted to have an issue, but I couldn't. I couldn't have an issue with it, like, because I would have done the same thing. I would have done the same thing. I've always been like that, quick to cut out energy that is not working for me, very quick. So, yeah, and if this is your business, your place of business, and you have somebody there that could bring in a different kind of energy, I don't think she's wrong for not having her there. So they talk about robbing on her meeting, and she said she's not. She wanted to get to know her not because of business. So I think she said that to make it seem like she's not trying to take the business from Crystal, but she wants to get to know her on a personal level. She said that their meeting was full of good energy, and I think that's great. But I wanted to, like, I was very, I don't know, concerned. I won't say concerned because I don't know them, but like, you have to be careful about connecting with people over trauma, the trauma bonding. Because if you're up here at this point, they're the way they bonded with you could bring you down, and you being up here doesn't work for them. Like, you're not you're not meshing with your growth and moving forward. So you got to be careful how you connect with people, and people are very quick to connect on negative things instead of things that are positive. That's my piece on it. But what was I saying? Okay, so she was saying that she feels like people don't have um Robin wrong. It's just like her experiences have made her the person that she is. And Tiana was connecting with that, and then talking about how she was raised, and how her mother was on drugs, and then her father raised her with, I guess, her stepmother, and the way that they raised them was what made her the person she is now, and that she doesn't do real estate for money. And I don't understand what you mean you don't do real estate for money and the glam and the glitz. Why wouldn't you? Those are great perks. I understand the motivation, but let's not like the money isn't part of that, because if it was cleaning out trash cans, you wouldn't be doing it. So I don't get it. So then we got Kira and Tiffany. They go to Alex's house. Now, Alex is Kira's client, who they closed the home with, but then he went and he put another almost $1 million into the home with renovation. So he paid $2 million for the home, and they put in almost another $1 million. Now we're going back to Mr. Hibachi, where he just put in 300,000 and is struggling to sell. So maybe this is his forever home. Maybe he wants to sell down the line. You never know. But he did a great job with the home. I love the circle chandeliers and the whole huge fireplace and all of that he did. Like, it was masculine, but it wasn't so masculine that a woman couldn't feel comfortable there. Assuming he's straight, I don't know, people business. And but I thought he did a great job. She talked about the closing party that they threw for him. It was a surprise. I assume that they're good friends because they invited all his friends, a DJ. His mother was a surprise there too. Um, private catering. So they did an amazing job. I was like, man, I want someone to do that for me when I buy a house. That was so nice. It was a dope job. So I think for this showed me like what Kira can do in the industry and put some respect on her name, you know? Like I thought that was really great, and it's great when you have friends that you can help move up in life, you know? And you know, they support each other's businesses and whatnot. So he talks to her, excuse me. He talks to her about, you know, his mother and wanting to retire her, but he wants to use Kira to buy her a new home. So he paid off her home. She's been in for 20 years and he wants to buy her a new home. He's doing a damn thing. He's a trucking company and whatnot. Girls in Atlanta, if he's single, hit him up. Like that is a brother that has it together. So yeah, I thought that was really awesome. I love that they showed that. This one thing I love about this show. They show all these different successful Black people and the different industries that they're in. I think it's really cool. It's not just about all the cattiness, right? So we got Carlos and Robin go to dinner. He takes her to dinner like he said he would. So Robin finds out that the penthouse has sold. 2.27, honey. All cash, no contingencies. Like, I know she was hurt. I know she felt it. And it was off of her promo. And he admitted that. Like, the fact that he actually admitted it, oh my God. I know I had to burn her. I had to burn her. But the issue is her attitude, right? But he really spends a lot of time bigging her up, her skills, the work that she puts in, and then, you know, says that, you know, sometimes you got to eat shit. And when you have to work with other people, this is why I love uh, um, trading, right? Because you ain't got to eat shit with people. You don't have to put on makeup. You don't have to present yourself in a way like everything is just on a computer. You can be in your bed with one eye open. Hopefully you don't do that. But with real estate, even though you can make so much money, there's still the people element, right? And that's the part that bothers me. Um, so yeah, so she feels like ate shit already, but even with um that happening, they come to some like he sees her for who she is, and she's very lucky because the way that I feel like she carries herself in that relationship is just so it's just unprofessional. And um you see that she has the skills to get the job done, but clearly that she could do some work on that area in that area. So she tries to talk to him about, you know, the collaboration she wants to do with the ladies. She didn't even get all her words out before he told her it was BS. And I kind of have to agree. Like he was saying to her that, you know, if you made your brokerage the number one brokerage, you wouldn't have to ask people to come to you. They'd be clamoring to come to you. And he's right. Um, I feel like there would be too much power struggle at this point with where the ladies are. I love the idea of all these Black women coming together. Black men, hopefully, too, would be great. And having this power brokerage in Atlanta, incredible. But the way that they're set up, I don't think it will work. And she's saying that, you know, the ladies feel like they need to be friends for something like that to happen. And she doesn't think so. But she's missing the camaraderie of it all. If you have people you work with and you guys are friendly, or you create a work environment that is like hospitable, 5-star lunches, all that kind of stuff, a game room, whatever it is that y'all people do in these fancy tech companies that make people come back. Like having that kind of environment where everyone is like a family, like those are the places that people want to go back to work with, as well as making that money. But when you are making a certain amount, it you need more. This is why you have incentives to go to work, because at that point it's like, okay, it's not just about the money. Is it a work environment I want to be in? Is it toxic? Look how much people leave the corporate world because they felt like their job was toxic. So it might work for her, but I don't think in general it will work for people or the other ladies, especially when they all have their own things going on. I just don't understand, especially Miss Kiana, Tiffany, and Miss Kimbrough. I don't know why they would join with her. I just feel like they have their own successful things going on. I don't see it. Oh, okay, so they end with Carlos telling her he's going to give her all the listings. So all the other listings he have, they're like over 500,000 each, plus his home, which is like 2 to 3 mil, and in an office space, I believe he wants to get to. So that's awesome. That's one thing is really great. I see that realtors do. They build relationships with developers or people who have a lot of property. So then it's like leads to more and more contracts and sales and all that type of thing. So good for her, even though she could work on her attitude. So Kira goes to Kimbrough Law to meet with our dear Crystal. And Crystal has a 5-star lunch with all these courses. And she talks about wanting to get to know her better, but she's just trying to steal her away from Tiffany. And so they try to connect over their relationships. Crystal had a 4-year relationship that ended. And Kira had a 5-year one that ended. Crystal's one that ended. I looked at her Instagram one day and she has all these trips and stuff and she's with this guy. I'm thinking that's the guy that she ended the relationship with. I'm not sure. But if that was the guy, that's unfortunate. Like, cause on one of the videos they're in, I think Kenya, and they're talking to this guy who knows like 5 languages and he's just so intelligent and very creative. And they were talking with him about helping him create a business. And I really hope that they got to do that, but because she's talking about how they had to sell properties and all types of stuff when they separated, like it was a divorce. But if that's the one didn't work out and he was speaking to her in a way that was not good, then I'm glad she's moving on. But it's just unfortunate because they seem like a lovely couple. And then Kira said that God burned down her house. Girl, God burned, and that's why she ended her relationship. That's what I heard. Don't argue with me on it. Moving on. Tiffany's grand opening. So we got our final hurrah for this episode. She picks up her husband. Her husband is so handsome. I'm not trying to get at your husband. I just said he's handsome. Beautiful couple. And they talk about how they came from food stamps to where they are now. And I think that is so amazing. And then, she had talked about in a past episode when she was going through her anxiety, how he quit his job to come and support her through that. I don't know how they made that work. I don't know if she's a breadwinner in the family or whatnot, but that is a supportive man. Like, that is so beautiful. So it's beautiful, like how strong their connection is and how like through better or worse, they really are. And I love that. I love Black love. And then she starts talking about how she don't do it for money either. She does this because she cares. And I can understand you care and you have passion about your job, but let's not negate the money. Like, that's why your husband was able to like not go to work, remember? Like, and that's why you're not on food stamps no more. So then Kira then tells Tiffany after the speech that she was wined and dined by darling Crystal, and talks about their conversation. And of course, Crystal Tiffany, loud speaking so everyone can hear, talks about how she doesn't like that. She's trying to sell her clients and this, that, and the other. And I feel her on that. Yeah, I think she has every right not to be feeling Crystal. Every right. And Crystal moves in a way that is manipulative and messy. And I didn't want to believe it. I don't know. Like, I take to Crystal for some reason, but you could take to somebody and see the sides of them um that's just not attractive or unbecoming, let's say. Um yeah. So then after that, Robin is trying to take a group selfie. And then she tries to include Kira into the selfie. And Kira's like, nah, it's okay. I'm being that. And and then she asks, okay, if you don't want to be, would you mind taking the picture? And she says, of course. So it's just, I know Kiana was saying that she's not fake, and because they haven't worked out the issue, she's not trying to be fake and be in the picture. And I get that, but she still comes off fake. She's still coming off fake to me. And pompous, high and mighty, above it all. Like, I don't, yeah, I feel like, I don't know, she needs a little humble pie or something. It's just, I don't like it. I'm still working through it. I guess as we see her in more episodes, I could figure out what it is. I put my finger on what it is that Miss Kira is giving. So then Robin and Kiana, they're talking, and Robin tells Kiana that she texted Crystal, and Crystal says, that she'll reach back out to her, but she hadn't reached out to her. So she asked Kiana if she had spoken to her, and Kiana's like, yeah, I spoke to her the other day. We went out last week, blah, 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 blah. But Crystal told Kiana that Robin hasn't spoken to her. So, which I find very interesting. Like, why did you tell her that if that's not true? Robin's like, well, she hasn't called me at all, and I haven't blocked her. So that's also an interesting comment that might show up in the next episode. And Robin, sorry, hold on. Okay, so Kiana says that Robin not being able to maintain relationships with women is a red flag to her. And I agree to a certain point. A certain extent, I do agree. Maybe I'm more like Robin with this. I think women can sometimes be very difficult, and the things that they want. So, like, I feel like a lot of women want relationships like you're their boyfriend, and that doesn't work for me. Like, I can't be at your beck and call. I can't have to speak to you every day. So I could understand what Robin is saying to a certain extent, that she struggled with that. And Robin, sorry, she allowed Crystal. Yeah. And so now where Robin went left for me was when she started to say she allowed Crystal to be her friend, and then she knew that Crystal only wanted to be her friend to make sure she wasn't fucking her man. Sorry, damn. Anyway, now that's where it was just kind of like, I allowed you peasant to be around me in my space. That's where she went wrong. Like, she has this thing. She gets to a point where I'm like, I'm with you, and then she just goes over the edge, and I'll be like, Robin, I can't defend you with this shit. So, and the fact that you felt that way and you made that girl your friend. Oh, because then it was, what was it? Oh, that's what girls do, but I don't. I don't do that, but that's what they do. And it's just like, you're showing your ass, girl. Because it's like, if that's what girls do, and you sound like you did that. You sound like you've done that a few times. Like I just don't believe you. And it feels to me like you're projecting onto Crystal. Now, Crystal got her ways, don't get me wrong, but it sounds like to me that you're making your issues Crystal's issues. So that also, yeah, Kiana feels like she defended Crystal and saying, like, I don't feel like she's like that. That doesn't seem like something she would do to me. But that's also another red flag for Miss Kiana. Robin goes on a list of all these great things about Crystal, but then says that she doesn't know how to be loyal. She's a social girl. She's a sorority girl. And I wonder if for you sorority girls, like, is that offensive? Is that an offensive thing to say? Like, this group social thing and not knowing how to be loyal to one friend. I don't know how y'all would take that. It felt to me like it was offensive. The way she said it, it was supposed to be, a dig. Um, but Kiana tries, and I think it's nice to hear this because I don't. This is what's interesting. From what we were shown, when Kiana sat down with Robin and Kira, she never said anything to give a different perspective. Oh, wait. She did give a different perspective to Crystal, but it was under the guise of Tiffany, Miss Tiffany, instead of what she thought her perspective was about the situation. But with Robin, she sat down and she was like, well, look at it from her perspective. You were over her doing this and whatever. And she's right. I'm glad she said something, but I wish with Crystal, she would have done the same, been like, okay, well, can you see it from her perspective? But I find it very funny that Robin was like, "Oh no, I can't see it from her perspective at all. She hasn't said anything to me, but I couldn't see it from the perspective of a person like that." And I was like, "Well, if she's so beneath you, why are you trying to be this bitch friend? Like, damn, like you're so above her." Ugh, Robin, God, girl, I keep trying to be on your side, but I keep. So, then they talk about how she defended the baby, Miss Kira. She deserves. Um, and then they talk about trying to take the picture and how she reacted. So then Robin then goes to call Kira over so they can squash whatever it is, and that's where the episode ends. So yeah, I think this episode was a good episode. I love the balance. We got shade, we got discussions, we got backstory, we got clients and their relationships. I think this is an amazing episode. I love this show. I hope it's doing really well with you guys. I'd love to hear what you guys think about it. If you could comment down below and get to see it. Thank you so much for also liking the video. And what else we got? Yeah, so hopefully next I'm gonna do a live stream either tomorrow or the day after about the Janet Jackson documentary. Let's hope it's good. She gonna talk about my Michael. I'm gonna be real mad if she does. But yeah, then we can talk about that. Hopefully you've seen it and everyone's seen it by then. I need to watch yesterday's episodes that aired. But yeah, thank you so much for stopping by my channel. I have a lot of different content that I do. Do like hair stuff, spirituality, meditation, weight loss, natural remedies. That's my perspective in life, and I try to share it with you guys. So yeah, hopefully you stick around, you subscribe, and you can get to know each other a bit better. All right. So until next time, thank you. I'm Chanel, and bye-bye.